It's been 6 months since President Trump was sworn in for a second term. Willie James Inman is at the White House with more on how his administration is celebrating the past 6 months.
President Trump was active on social media on Sunday, the 6-month anniversary of his current term in office. The president referred to the United States as the hottest and most respected country anywhere in the world and called his presidency one of the most consequential periods of any president. Also on social media on Sunday, the president called for the Washington Commanders football team to change their name back to the Redskins, a term that has been criticized as racist by Native American groups. And in another post on Truth Social, President Trump claimed his poll numbers have risen since the Jeffrey Epstein hoax was exposed by the radical left Democrats. The post comes as the president faces growing pressure from lawmakers and many of his supporters to put forth information about Epstein, something he had promised to do during his campaign. Late Friday, the president sued Rupert Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal for at least $20 billion following the publishing of an article in the journal last week linking the president to Jeffrey Epstein. The story published Thursday contained alleged details of a risque birthday letter the president allegedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein in the early 2000s. The paper claims the note was signed by Trump and includes a sketch of a naked woman. The president insists he never wrote the note. In other political news Sunday, ICE Acting Director Todd Lyons appeared on Face the Nation to speak about the administration's ongoing immigration crackdown.
If your agents encounter anyone who is here illegally, irrespective of whether or not they have a criminal record, that person will be taken into custody.
If they're here in the United States illegally, yes, they will.
Those are called collateral arrests.
Correct.
Earlier this month, Congress approved legislation that more than tripled ICE's budget. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Well, developing this weekend in Los Angeles, a vehicle rammed into a crowd of people outside a nightclub, injuring 30 people with 7 injuries described as critical. Police say bystanders stopped the driver, who was later found with a gunshot wound. The driver is still hospitalized tonight. His condition is unknown, and police say they're searching for the person who shot him. LAPD is leading the investigation and believes it was an intentional attack. No motive has been released yet. Also developing today in Los Angeles, a scary scene after a Delta Airlines flight takes off. The engine caught fire, forcing the plane to turn around and make an emergency landing. Flames could be seen shooting out of the Boeing 767 plane's engine. There was no report of injuries to the passengers or crew. The FAA says it's launched an investigation to determine what caused the engine to catch fire. This was the second time this year a Delta plane has experienced an engine fire. The other one was in January after it left the Atlanta airport. We're hearing tonight from the Arkansas Department of Transportation about how speed enforcement cameras going up in work zones on the interstate are working. These cameras have been added to more work zones in the past 2 years since a new state law was passed, allowing them. Dave Parker with RDOT says getting people to slow down was the ultimate goal. And since being installed last June, police have issued more than 5,000 warnings and over 800 citations.
In the last couple of years, we've had a handful of fatalities involving maintenance workers out there doing basic jobs, retrieving debris in the roadway that could cause a major accident, trying to get something along the shoulder. And these things happen because people aren't slowing down in active work zones.
Arkansas currently has 3 work zone cameras. One's on I-49 in Fayetteville, and the other are on I-57 and I-55. Well, the Northwest Arkansas Children's Shelter in Bentonville is partnering with local families to host lemonade stands, all to support a new foster care initiative. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach stopped by one of those stands this afternoon to see how the community is getting involved.
I'm in Siloam Springs at one of many lemonade stands taking place this month to benefit the Northwest Arkansas Children's Shelter.
The shelter has hosted over 75 lemonade stands this summer with a goal of 100 across the state and country. All money raised from the stands will go toward the children's shelter and their new foster program, Foster for the Future. Staff say that even small events like these can make a lasting impact, especially for young kids.
Maverick's 3, and he's going to host a lemonade stand today, and it's not going to raise millions like our fundraisers do, but it's just awareness for our neighborhood. It's something that starts very young with him, being in an environment that he doesn't have unmet needs, where he's going to learn very young that we can go ahead and start doing those things on a small scale until he's older and maybe do a big impact.
For those who couldn't make it today but still want to help Maverick's Lemonade Stand, you can Venmo NWACS. In Siloam Springs, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Well, local students may not want to be reminded, but the start of another school year is getting closer. For a lot of parents, it can be very difficult to buy all the needed back-to-school supplies. That's where the United Way of Fort Smith area steps in. For 21 years, it's spearheaded the Fill the Bus campaign. This Friday and Saturday, while you're out buying back-to-school supplies for your children or grandchildren, pick up a few extra items and drop them off at the school bus that will be parked in front of local Walmart supercenters.
School districts do a really good job at spreading these school supplies and making them last all year long. So the more that we raise, the better prepared they are all year long. And I think that's very important. It's not just the first few months. These teachers really hold on to these things and make them last. It does alleviate some of that stress, and every child deserves to have what they need to succeed.
Volunteers will be at all River Valley Walmart locations this Friday from 9 to 7 and Saturday from 9 to 1. Well, tax-free weekends are also coming up for families looking to save a few bucks while buying school supplies. Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri all have tax-free weekends happening the first weekend of August. Each of the states allow people to buy things like school and art materials, electronics, and clothing without paying state taxes ahead of the new school year.